Welcome to Beyond the Box. I'm here today with Caleb Olsen, and he is my yoga instructor that I take his class on occasion. And what else do you do? Yoga, astrology, numerology, which I just found out.
Oh, yeah.
I think we can add professional hiker maybe to the list.
Oof, I don't know about that. I've done it, but
Yeah.
I suffered through it.
Well,
that was his whole thing. Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk about it. But, I mean, all kinds of things, honestly. And so I'm just going to throw it to you. And
Perfect.
First off, before I throw it to you, I want to know why, how did all three of those get integrated together? Yoga, astrology, are those the main three?
And numerology.
That
and this other program I've gone through called Temple Kenosis.
Okay, I looked that up too.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
What is that?
Community exploring relationships between humans and mushrooms.
Yes. Uh-huh. So,
Like shrooms, mushrooms?
yes,
Shrooms.
psilocybin mushrooms.
Okay.
A little bit. We can go down that path. I'm a firm advocate for that stoned ape theory. Ever heard of that?
Stoned ape?
Yeah. So let me expand off that here in a second. So I think astrology, numerology, and yoga are definitely all intertwined in just a philosophical component, right? They're mechanisms to understand the human experience a little bit more. Yoga's got its philosophy from being translated from the Vedic texts, and a lot of that they'll use archetypal themes of what's coming up for somebody in the human experience. Astrology kind of dabbles in the same thing, right? It's a way of looking at your zodiac chart, understanding birth stuff, the birth charts, right? So it's, in my opinion, I think we chose our parents. I think we chose the life that we were going to be born into, the zodiac sign of ours, because...
We chose the zodiac sign?
Yeah, because it's going to set us up with the character developing catalysts and situations to further our exploration of our own consciousness and who we are as an evolutionary factor.
Okay. I feel like I'm way on the deep end of the pool.
She's like, I'm going to throw it to you. And I'm like, all right, deep end with no floaties on, Meredith.
So was it... So I feel like it was astrology first. Like, as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, were you, Sunday papers looking at your astrology? Or
oh, gosh, no.
Were you, stretching? Or,
no.
What was interesting
So, yeah,
first?
we'll rewind it even back farther. So I grew up in a very rural farm town in central Illinois.
Okay.
So,
Illinois.
yeah.
What's in Illinois besides...
Corn.
Okay.
Corn.
I like corn. Fried corn.
Corn is
corn
okay.
cob.
Corn's good for you. Maybe. I don't know
It's a
what
starch,
it's doing. I don't.
right?
It is, but it's also without getting too disgusting, it's still there when I'm, done. I don't know what you did. You just went for a log flume ride, at Six Flags. I don't know what corn's doing. It's anyway, corn and
typical dude conversation we're having right now.
Well, there's nothing against the small farm town lifestyle. I just, again,
Don't prefer it.
I don't prefer it. I think back to what we were talking about earlier. I think I chose to be I'm going to go here because this is not in my wheelhouse. I'm going to choose the parents that are going to raise me in this rural farm town area to kind of go through the challenges that I could face personally, because I didn't resonate with the lifestyle growing up there. It kind of felt like to me I'm just biding my time till I'm 18 and I can get the hell out of here.
Well, that's how I felt,
Right.
Because I was from East Tennessee, Blountville, Tennessee.
Blountville, okay.
Blountville.
The names of cities and towns here in the Tennessee area are baffling to me.
Yeah.
It's
I was ready to go as well.
Same. So I grew up. It's okay. Farm town, small community. As I've gotten older, I can appreciate that. But when I was younger, I was like, I don't want to do any of this shit. I can go down to the local bar and I can tell you any person that's sitting at the.
Yeah.
It's
I know your first, middle, and last name.
Do the same things every day, right? Like, and I like consistency and I like structure and routine, but it just felt like, yep, I can't wait till I'm 18. I'm going to get the hell out of here, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, I didn't grow up stretching or thinking of astrology. I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian home. And
That's exactly where I was going next.
Yeah, I would.
So did I.
I can see I can see the truth and the beauty in all religions.
Mm-hmm.
Christian?
Yeah.
What denomination?
Methodist.
My dad's house Baptist, which is pretty.
Right. I mean, see,
I
there's.
switched to Presbyterian, but I guess it's.
What's the difference?
Baptist is your brimstone and fire a lot of times.
And I went to an Episcopalian private school. Isn't that weird?
See, we've said a
Just
bunch of
realized that.
Bunch of
denominations. I don't even know what the difference is between any of them.
It's ridiculous.
Episcopalian. It's like, what?
Episcopalian.
I had to go to chapel on Mondays, and we had to say a prayer. Can't remember what it was, but I knew it by heart.
Really stuck with you.
It did. Methodist was boring to me. Presbyterian seemed more non-denominational. It seemed easier and lighter, and Methodist was a little heavy for me.
Right. You just named off. It's like you approach these religions like a flight of beers. Like, I'm going to try this one and then this one and then.
Right.
But it was
go back to
not. It
this
was
one.
nothing like Baptist. Baptist was
Baptist
like
is
a whole
it's
nother
fire and
level.
brimstone, baby.
Yeah, it was like
Scare tactics,
I will
a lot
never
of
be a Baptist.
fear-based stuff, or is it?
Oh yeah. Oh, are you
Just lively, and it just to me it just seemed like.
I mean, I would
hand
just say,
clapping and that kind of stuff, but it probably wasn't. That's just how, as a Methodist, that's what I looked at with Baptist was, you know.
I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. Normally, what I would think about with like the fire and brimstone things is that they're just very, like you were saying, fundamentalist. I would think
old school.
Yeah, you could put it out. You know what I mean? Like
Real First Testament vibes.
The things you could think of that are like a no-no that nowadays we pretty much move past. There's
Yeah.
still a no-no there.
Sure.
There's a lot of things like that. Now, like my grandparents, they're Baptist, love them to death, but definitely. So for you, fundamentalist, what did that mean?
Yeah, what were you?
That just non-denominational, fundamental, like just, there was no delineation between the fire and brimstone, the Presbyterian things, and the Methodist. I took it in, and I was like, yeah. Even as a kid, I could see that makes sense. And then there's just certain topics that, like homosexuality for one. I was a kid, I was just like, wait a minute. We just talked about how God is all loving and we're supposed to love everybody. And then we had this whole other sermon that was a complete antithesis of that and saying,
Right.
yes, but if you're this way, then... And even as a kid, I was just kind of like, I call bullshit. Like, I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to subscribe.
Did you have any friends that were gay?
Yeah, I had friends that were gay growing up in a small farm town, rural community. It wasn't... I don't think they felt confident in kind of owning that to a certain degree, and it was kind of like still trying to shape that personality into the structures that would be acceptable. This is a school that FFA, Future Farmers of America, were the dominating, like they were like we had sports and jocks and stuff, but like, FFA was that was the flex, I mean, for whatever reason they'd have, no.
Oh, okay.
I had tons of friends that were, I don't know why, probably because my immediate family, like my parents weren't in farming, but like my uncle had a pig farm,
Oh, cool.
owned all the stuff,
Not
like, cool. I mean, depends on your stance on pigs, I guess, but... And I also grew up, like smelling pig manure and like, man, that smells like shit. And like, he'd be like, bro, it's the smell of money, And as a kid, I grew up like, man, money
There's so
smells
much
like
corn
shit.
around.
Like,
it's everywhere.
and then people are like, I don't want to smell my money because it's going to smell like pig shit. But so the future farmer kids, they just ran the school, So it was, I watched people that I knew were gay kind of toy with it a little bit and then kind of retreat because it just wasn't an
Did you feel like
atmosphere.
you were kind of like, even back then, that you were like, I'm not a part of this. I feel like I'm on the outside.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I felt, even as a kid, I would say this, like, felt like Jane Goodall, like Around the Apes. And I'm like writing things down every now and then going in and being like, yeah. Saying a little thing here and there, Future Farmers of America, woo, and see what happens, just, on the outside because just didn't feel like. And there's times when I was younger, expressed authentically what I wanted to, and everyone was like, oh, "That's you're kind of weird, aren't
the
you?"
weirdo.
Yeah. And so I was like, that's not safe maybe, or you learn what is socially acceptable for you to do or not do just based off your environment. And even at a young age I was like, I'm pretty sure there's more out there besides this. I'm just gonna kind of bide my time, get through. Always was a class clown type, always was somebody that was trying to make a fun situation out of growing up in the circumstances I did.
So you crack jokes, or you?
Oh yeah, and probably was on the spectrum of ADHD, but never diagnosed. I feel like a lot of people my age were, before anybody started getting prescribed or diagnosed as ADHD. I was definitely there. I'm a quick learner when I want to.
Yeah.
But just, the mechanisms of how we were in school, I just got in trouble. I was like, this is boring. I'd rather draw comic stuff in the book. I'd rather look for stupid things in the book and be like, oh, did you see this picture of this guy? Like, looks like he's picking his nose on page 17 or page 69 in the science book, like just getting in trouble. I talked a lot. Like, I was a big talker.
Were you a people pleaser, like, with your family?
I was going to ask about, were you biding your time with them as well with this kind of stuff? Like, were they very much a part of the community and more
they were.
More natural for them?
And I watched both my parents grow up in this small town environment and didn't really move too far away from it. Both my parents grew up in a small town called Hartsburg-Emden. It's obviously a German settlement in like rural Illinois. I mean, their upbringing was even smaller than mine. Their graduating high school class had like 10 people in it.
Wow.
My dad grew up with my grandpa taking care of horses and like doing that farming kind of stuff. And you could ride your horse to school back in, you know what I mean?
Are they still married?
No, my parents have been divorced since I was 2. So that's the other thing. I grew up in this divorced home. Okay. And I always question things a lot. I think growing up in that kind of environment kind of makes one do so, especially with like the media I'm consuming. Like, you'd see all these picture perfect families in movies and television, and I just grew up being like, that's not my experience. So I always constantly was like, is what I'm being shown actually the true representation of what's out there? Because
I didn't even think about that, because I used to watch the Brady Bunch all the time.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's a fun concept.
And and everyone was just so, I didn't even think anything of it. It was just like, wow, they just seem so happy. And you don't even think about the baggage of like, God, Mike came in with 3 kids, and Carol came in with 3 daughters, and how did they make that work? And anyway, sorry, I got off tangent.
Mine got divorced when I was 3.5. So similar experience from very, very young age, and just 2 vastly different households. I think it has it's got a lot to do with why, I am who I am, obviously, just growing up too. Was there a lot of differences between the way that your dad wanted to raise you or your mom wanted to raise you? Oh, for sure. I understood why they probably didn't work out the older I got, and like I can see it. No,
so young.
So young, high school sweetheart type situation, and small town. Like, I would imagine back then, it's just like, what else do you think your options are, And then they tried, didn't work. And then when I was about 2, they decided to separate. And very similar but different upbringings,
Are you an only child?
I am with my dad. Now, my mom went on to have two more.
That's so weird.
We have half brothers.
That is so strange.
I have 2 half brothers.
I have 2 half sisters. That's so strange.
Synchronicities.
So y'all should get together after this.
That's really weird,
right?
Actually. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That's just strange.
Like, jump in and share. What do you want? It's
getting kind of strange.
Whose life are we talking about right now? But very, very similar, because they both grew up in a very small town together, but differences in just the way they approach life, I guess, And I'm very blessed with the parents I have. My mom is very strong-willed, strong, independent woman vibes, Dad is he's the most calm, chill person I've ever met. Like, I think I've only heard my dad yell like once in my entire life. Like, he's just...
So who are you more like, your mom or your dad?
Depends on the situation. If it's... I get explosive and reactionary from my mom 100%.
Yeah.
Her and I grew up just butting heads and just totally engaging in debate mentality, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, you think this, blah, 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 blah. We always had to have the last word,
Yeah.
you know, that
Yeah.
kind of,
Relatable. Yeah.
And then with dad, it was always, anytime I got in trouble, so I knew like, okay, I did something wrong. Mom's going to explode on me and I'm going to get that initial just like, wow, what are you doing? That was so stupid, Caleb. Did you learn your lesson? With dad, it was always just like calm, like, well, what did you learn, from it? And so I got the best of both worlds from those because as I've gotten older, I realized there's times when I do have this knee-jerk kind of emotional overreaction to things. I'm like, oh, that's mom. Mom's coming through. And then there's other times where I can keep my composure and just kind of like be calm about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's dad, because I got both modeled to me.
Yeah.
And I think both have their place in the human expression.
It's order and chaos.
Right.
A little
Order
bit
and
of
chaos for both.
You got to have a little bit of both, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think growing up in the situation I did where, in society, we're really big on like rules and roles, especially with like genders, and it was kind of like flipped for me. Like my mom was the explosive reaction, more masculine. And then my dad had a very softer, kind of more feminine side. Mm-hmm. And I think I totally embody that and, even bring that into the relationships but friendships, romantic and like work partner. They're like you kind of have both going on there, but in the gender switched way.
It's healthy to have a good balance of masculine and feminine. And now I feel like a lot of this is totally on tangent, but a lot of women today are moving more into their masculine, and it's like. It's not working with the whole like dating situation.
Sure. No, I think and societies will do this. Like we go through generations, decades, what have you, and the rules and roles kind of like are on a pendulum of like now we've got a lot more women stepping into their masculine. There's a lot more men stepping into their feminine. Me and a good friend of mine co-lead men's circle groups. And that's just about getting men together and building emotional intelligence, because
that's awesome.
A big issue in the world today is I see a lot of men who are just emotionally unintelligent,
Yes.
They never got modeled any of the behavior of how do I speak from like what I'm feeling. It's more of the just reactionary and blurt it out, we haven't even been
That's the world.
True.
Today.
I mean, I get it, right? Most of the world's problems are because men are in power and they're emotionally unintelligent, I think.
I mean, it's just, I think that's a whole nother subject because we've talked about just in general that I think people are just like, they're feeding off of their emotions. And it's just like, if you could just be a little logical about it and get out of your emotional self and get into your logical self and just think about this for a minute, then we would
find
be
a
better.
balance between them, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, men sometimes get looked. Sometimes you would tend to think that the men would be the more logical, and sometimes they can be, but also everybody pretty much knows that women are generally more emotionally intelligent. So it's like you get a man who's already prone to a lot of times if you don't understand something or if you're confused about something, it comes out as anger, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of men are just angry. They don't even know.
But women are like that too.
No, for sure. But
insane.
all I'm saying is that like men tend to lean that way anyway. And so if there's like a mass level of that going on, the men in some aspects it would be worse for women, but in some aspects it would be worse for men because there's already this mass confusion going on, and they already tend to lean towards just exploding and stuff like that. And so the combination of the two, I think, is it makes it a really bad problem.
And it comes down to communication, to his point, I don't think men have been taught on how to properly communicate what's coming up for us. It's just this knee-jerk emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Whereas women, I think, spend a huge amount of time going, like something comes up, a situation happens. Women can be emotionally reactive too. I've seen it, but I think they're in the process of like, all right, what does this mean for me when I emotionally feel this, or like
some women,
why? Some, right?
I
don't want to generalize here, but
yeah. I mean, you have to be in a healthy headspace in order to do that.
Truly, and you've got to have probably shown that behavior to you from somebody before, because I don't think you're just going to instinctually go into assessing yourself unprompted. Did you really?
Uh-huh.
How did that happen?
Because I was going through that breakup, and I had just gone through half of my life and decided I didn't. I was like, this bullshit.
Something's got to change. I got to look at something different here.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like on a hamster wheel. I'm not doing this anymore. And so I started, I've gone through this so many times. But anyway, I started going through like a bunch of podcasts. I was trying to like figure myself out. It started to be kind of like a game for me. Because I was like, okay, who is this person that I'd just broken up with? And why am I attracted to him? And so it was just like a domino effect of me trying to figure it all out.
That's interesting. And you learned how to prompt yourself and propose these questions to yourself just from watching other podcasts and just watching other people kind of go through. Mm-hmm. So that was like, I
did have a therapist, a great therapist
too.
And she helped me. You know, I would call her up and I would go, I feel like I have a mother wound. And can we talk about this?
Yeah.
And so we talk about it, and then I'd watch a podcast on it, and I'd go hike, and so it just I got lighter and lighter and lighter as the days and the months went by.
Your own excavation and self-awareness practices,
right? But it was painful too.
Of course it is.
Sobbed and cried, and it just
that's part of it.
And a lot of people just don't want to do that. And they don't want to.
Yeah, there takes a certain, I guess, pain threshold of understanding that to do this work, you're going to have to really touch on some things that are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Things that have happened to us, traumas that have happened in our relationships in the past, things that shape how we're looking at the world now. And if you want to change those things, you've got to go back to the original
to like a
wounds,
kid.
Right. A lot of that is very young.
Which a lot of people will say, I had a great childhood. You know, I didn't have any sex abuse or anything like that.
Capital T trauma.
Yeah.
But you can have lowercase t trauma.
But you can have like little little micro doses of trauma that you don't realize until you go back and go, well, if you have to be honest with yourself. So
they're shaping your worldview. In this temple kenosis program I went through, we use a technique called voice dialoguing, where it's like it's basically ego deconstruction. I take an inventory of all the different voices that I have, right? So I have like the achiever, I have the pusher, I have a wounded child, I have the lazy.
This is temple kenosis we're talking about?
Mm-hmm. So there's a book called Embracing Ourselves by Drs. Hal and Sidra Stone, and they take you through this process of like, how do I identify these voices that are within me?
Did you do shrooms before you got into this?
Yeah, I did shrooms way before that.
Because I'm like, how did you just like, hey, I'm interested in temple kenosis.
Psychedelic experiences through college really kind of started opening me up to like, there's a whole other world of understanding things out here. And I'm noticing...
Were you not nervous? I've never done shrooms.
Oh, yeah. The first few times I wasn't because, again, I grew up questioning everything. And so, like I was talking about earlier, like this doesn't fit my life, what I see on these TVs. And the DARE program comes around and I'm like, these guys are vehemently against me trying these drugs. I think I'm going to try these drugs. That's so
funny.
Plus half of it too was like, on the flip side of it is I don't think they realize, they probably do now, how much actual educating on drugs DARE actually was. I was like, don't smoke weed. I'm like, what is weed?
Right.
And they're like, well, it's this plant that you can. I'm like, you guys are educated on the thing that you don't want me to do. But
when I was on Hawks, we used to do DARE programs.
Sure.
We did stay in school programs.
Of course.
That's so funny.
Right.
But
I don't think it's around anymore. I think they caught on to that.
It's not.
Before we go to the temple kenosis and so you were just about to talk about how you started doing shrooms. Mm-hmm. We just one little step back. So we were talking about your town. We were talking about how your parents were separated. So at what point? So you said you were biding your time till you turned 18. Mm-hmm. What's your thought? I'm going to go to college and get out of here, and that was the only thing you were thinking about.
College and what'd you study?
Yeah, college and what'd you study, and just kind of how did you go from biding that time to ultimately
where I'm at now,
making that decision to at least take the shrooms for the first time and that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. So
it seems like you were that way to some degree before.
I was
before that, and I've always been a person that was scared to try them for that reason because I feel like I'm already like that, and I feel like it would freak me out. So anyways, I'm curious.
Growing up in the environment I grew up in, realizing that I don't resonate with a lot of the way everybody's normalize this quality of life or what they're doing, and just be like, okay, I went through my rebellious phase where I'm like, this is stupid, everybody here is dumb, I'm not gonna do this. Just exploring from there. I mean, the first time I ever tried smoking weed was around freshman high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I was bored. There's cornfields and cornfields to do anything.
You don't mind being out of control? That was my problem, was I don't like feeling like I'm out of control of my body. So I would have a hard time with
Yeah, because
that.
I think, to a certain degree, I didn't feel in control of anything already.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like, well, this is just one more situation in which... But I think we all have control issues. We all have a version of us that wants to feel like we're in control. I have a personality, depending on what I'm choosing to rub up against my limit or the edge of that. When it comes to the psychedelic and mind expansion stuff, I never had any reservations. But the partner I'm with now, she really likes to travel a lot and just go and do stuff. And I'm like, I'm trying to apply the same mechanisms that I've used for my psychonaut explorations to these other realms.
That's
and
so
it doesn't
weird
translate.
to me that you're freaked out about going on a hike when you exercise all the time. It makes no sense to me.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute, because it wasn't just any hike.
I know.
My partner's ex-military, so she's like a simple
like a
simple
13
ruck
mile.
is 13 miles, and I
Yeah.
was just like, what? This is not simple.
Did you watch the movie Wild before you did it?
No, because
You
I was
should
like,
have.
I didn't even know if it probably would have just aggravated me even more.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
No. So,
What was your experience with that when you started smoking, and how much did that?
You're always trying to bring us back.
How much
got
did that?
to.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much did that push you forward on this journey? How much, did it become something you did a lot? Did it become something you did?
I
every once?
did. I totally leaned into. I have addictive personality for sure, and I found that out early at the freshman age. I think I really gravitated towards smoking because I already felt like somewhat of a, not necessarily an outcast, but this is a whatever, my surroundings. And then when I would get high, I'd just be like, oh man, I'm in my own world now. I don't have to worry about filtering anything that's happening here that I'm creatively coming up with or saying or
Did you feel more creative when?
Yeah, and just natural,
You were altered.
natural questioning mechanisms that I already had, expanded even more once I started taking mind-altering substances.
Yeah.
And after THC, you can have what I would consider an overdose on THC. You can have too much, you have mild freak out.
That's and as far
That
as
happened to me
overdoses go,
once. Oh my God.
a little bit of a freak out is a good overdose to have. For the
No,
record.
it was not.
No,
not
I'm
mine.
I'm just saying
It
that
was
typically,
awful.
if you said I overdosed, they're like, "Oh my God, did you live through that?" And it's like, well, actually, I had a slight panic attack for a couple hours, then I was good.
Yeah, overdose doesn't mean a death situation. It just
I
means
think it's
you've taken too much.
Or I didn't take too much. I think I took bad weed. It was bad.
Well,
felt like I was gonna die. I wrote my kids.
There's different strains
I was
and there's
about to
different
say- I
effects
was about
that it
to say,
has on
yeah.
your physiology. So you might have just came across a strain that you don't vibe with.
My
you
God.
I don't know, but I'll tell you, I wrote a letter to my kids
Oh, gosh.
about that I was gonna die and all this
Oh, my
stuff.
God.
Hey guys, just a quick word. I love doing what I'm doing, and I would love to continue it. And so, in order to continue it, I would also love any kind of support that maybe you guys can bring my way. So that would be either an ad read or a sponsorship. Even if you wanted to donate $5, any little bit helps. And for me to continue this journey, what I'm doing, interviewing people and learning about their awesome lives. So thank you. And I was watching the clock going, I researched it. I was like, this should last 4 hours. And I just sat and watched the clock. And then I finally went to bed and I had my girlfriend who was smoking it with me come in, and I said, can you just spoon me?
Yeah.
And then she fell asleep and started snoring, and then I was still awake going, oh my God, I'm gonna die. My kids are gonna come in, they're gonna see me in bed with my girlfriend who's not my girlfriend, and then
All these,
it
stories
was-
fractalizing, all these worries and concerns, just
it was so
irrational
bad.
fractaling of fears.
Yeah, it was
And that's what it does. Yeah, I mean,
I don't do well on it.
I've had those experiences on psychedelics, but not THC.
My dad took it for the first time. I don't know why the hell he took it. Anyways, super long story short, he was at a whiskey convention all day, and one of his friends gave him an edible.
Oof. Yeah.
For his first experience. And then on top of that, he did the classic, I don't feel it, I'm going to take another one.
Oh,
Which that would have
yeah.
been bad by itself, not to mention the fact
I've
he'd been
never had
drinking all
edibles.
day.
Yeah.
So then he starts telling me that it was making him hallucinate. I was like, brother, you were not hallucinating. You were falling asleep,
Yeah.
and you were like dreaming and then waking up. And because it doesn't do that, A. And
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
you can't. That is not how you should have taken it. That's not when you should have taken it. That's not. You know.
Yep.
So my point in saying that is it largely varies depending on those kind of things. You know.
Okay. Well, anyway. Okay, getting back
That's
to...
I mean, what you talked about, I've heard people share similar stories just off THC. It's not uncommon to find your limit, your threshold on these
Yeah.
things.
It was
The only time I've ever overdosed on THC, I just have like physiological, like I can't stop sweating, or, you know, like I'm at a party and like my verbal functions are gone. I'm just like, I'm just going to go sleep this off now. Like
Yeah.
I've been there and I know I don't freak out about those.
Yeah.
The psychedelics are they bump it up a notch, mostly because of the hallucination component to it. I've dabbled a lot with, I think the most psychedelics I've done is between LSD and psilocybin.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's so scary.
Are you good?
You're like having a minor freak out just from hearing somebody
Yeah, no,
share.
that's true. That's true. Just thinking about being in that position.
Oh yes,
I mean,
Meredith.
I
It'd
get
be
it a
fun
lot.
to watch you do that.
No.
I get it a lot
Actually,
more with the
Nope.
I do get it with the psychedelics.
I-
Have you ever done ayahuasca? That's what I was going to ask you.
no, I've done DMT in the like smokable form.
Jeez. That's pretty. Yeah.
And that's one that I'm like, I don't know. Like my personal experience with it, it was so wild and so alien that I didn't bring anything of value back from it. Like there's times where I've been on
Nothing really applied.
psilocybin and being like, wow, I see how I'm causing my own suffering by this mental loop thought form I keep telling myself. It allows the brain to kind of look at oneself from a third party perspective and kind of get that higher bird's eye view of your behaviors and patterns that allow you to kind of like sift through it
What
and
is
work.
this again?
This is psilocybin for me.
But what's the difference between... What's like ketamine? What's the difference between that?
Ketamine's like a tranquilizer, and it's yeah,
Totally
it's,
different?
Well, and the day and age now is
Because
there's-
that's like for therapy, right?
yeah,
People
it
take
depends on the
ketamine.
person. Like it depends on their brain chemistry and what their needs and wants are, right? Some people may find that they have a valuable ketamine experience from. It's very disassociative. Like if I would,
I thought what you were doing was disassociative. No.
it depends on what you're
Kinda the
talking about. Like a tranquilizer, because ketamine is like a horse trank. That's like
Whenever
what it
I was
is.
growing up, ketamine was used by some heavy drug users.
Yes.
Ketamine was like a hard.
I just
drug.
thought you could wrap that into what we were talking about. but you
Disassociatively
can't.
speaking, it's gonna like render one's body functions just
Yeah,
like
you're 100% right though. They give you there's
They-
nasal sprays now.
Yeah.
For ketamine, like the doctors can give you, which is insane. I'm just saying that's insane because whenever I grew up, it was like hard drug, and now it's
Okay.
like, yeah. So,
Okay, well...
Same thing with
So
like,
you're
you
right
know,
about that, yeah.
somebody
Well-
could take like an upper drug and it puts them to sleep, and some people can take downer drugs and it peps them up. Like everybody's
But you were
different.
doing what you were doing because you just wanted to escape, or you wanted to figure out the meaning of life?
It was
or
boredom. Yes, for
okay,
sure. A
boredom.
lot of this was boredom at first. Like I'm stuck in
'Cause you were-
in a boring environment. I guess I'll be high. You know.
Okay.
And then finding mushrooms was the next step up from the THC.
that was in college.
Yeah, it was like right before I left for college, and there was a few like take a little bit here and there, and you have this kind of like whoa, like some.
Did
the
you get into
walls look
yoga
like they're
then
moving.
when you were doing?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't come until years later. Like
Okay.
I had a huge psychedelic experience first that opened me up to like, well, there's this whole world of like energy. I'm like
Okay.
more sensitive and empath. Like I found out like I'm an empath because of a psychedelic experience, and like being in a space where and this happens to me sometimes when I'm not on psychedelics. Like I'll interact with somebody and just get like in their sphere, and all of a sudden like my imagination just starts running. Like, I bet they ever like had this kind of a childhood, or they did these kind of things growing up. And then
feel
like
their aura?
yeah, something. I mean, like, and when you think about the energy field that our brains and bodies put off, there's like a 15-foot radius around us of like electromagnetic field stuff that we're putting off. And so when people get together, your energy body starts picking up information from somebody else before your physiological body even does. But like, I would just like make up things about people, and then I'd start talking to them like, oh shit, that thing that I was like thinking I was making up in my head, actually there's some shred of truth to it. I started noticing that more when I was on psychedelics, and then even when I wasn't, I was like, oh, that component's still there. But it has to come from this place of like, once I figured out I would do that, then my ego takes over, and it's like, let's do that cool thing where we think we can get, and then it shuts off. Then it's not a natural. I'm not an open to whatever this person is in front of me. My ego takes over and is like, eh.
How long were you in that before you moved into something different?
Like just in what, like the psychedelic usage to something else?
Because some people I would think, can just get caught in it and stay in it for years and years and years.
Yeah, it is a great point. That's a great point. Because I've known some people that are like that.
When did you move?
And it's hard to talk to them because it's like
that.
Come back to me.
So that's when I started realizing not everybody has the same experience when you take these things. Because when I first started taking them, like, I would take them out of novelty. It'd be boring.
Right.
But then I also noticed I'd be at parties sometimes, and like everybody's looking at oh my gosh, the wall's like doing its melting thing. And I'm over here like, wait a minute, you guys aren't like talking to God in your head right now? Like you're not, oh, I'm having a different experience. Like somewhere along the way, the novelty of being in an altered state started to switch into like, I feel like I'm tuning into something else now. It's not just the walls look like we're underwater. It was like, what's this thought process, the stream of consciousness that's coming in right now that I know isn't my thoughts, but like it's telling me some profound things about my life that I couldn't have come up with on my own. And then it just started to go that direction slowly over time. So like, yeah, the novelty of being on a drug at first is what drew me in, and this questioning of like, you guys tell me I shouldn't take this. Like,
how long
why?
does it last, by the way?
Depends on what you're taking and the dosage of it. Like a good solid mushroom experience, if you're gonna take like 3.5 grams, that should last you a good 6 to 7 hours, I'd imagine.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
acid.
You're hallucinating for 6 to 7 hours?
Acid's even more.
Acid's
yeah.
like 12
I would
hours.
lose my fucking mind.
Acid's like
Kidding
12
me?
hours, Meredith. 12 to 16. Yeah.
What
Depending on the
are you
whole
people doing?
I've had somebody.
You're surrendering to the experience and getting that. For me, it was, oh yeah, can I just let go? The more you resist,
That
to
sounds
like,
exhausting. No?
It can be if you're holding on to. This isn't the way I wanted to feel. This is so.
Do you
not
talk
what
to
I
people,
wanted.
or is it just
Yeah,
you're
of
in your own?
course. I talk to people. I talk to real people, invisible people.
God.
I'm talking. I'm always a talker, but it doesn't.
A lot of times you'll have somebody like him that
sitter.
if you've never done it before that you would sit with. Yeah, that would purposely be there for those moments when you're freaking out.
Right.
Just laughing if I ever.
And that's what got me into temple kenosis later on, because here is a spiritual program that uses these altered states to actually like inform the individual about themselves. It's like taking I'm just on a psychedelic drug experience and being like, all right, now we're going to work on the self. And here's a person that's trained in some of these ways to do it.
So it's a group. So it's a group setting.
It can be, or a one-on-one. It depends on how many people want to get involved. But
Okay.
when I was going up through college, I started noticing I'm having a different experience on these substances that everybody else is, and notice like, oh my gosh, that dude over there is having a bad trip now. And I would just naturally just go over and be like, dude, I'm still on whatever, you know? I'm like, hey, I see you freaking out. Like, it taught me the power of like, I can think negatively and I'm just going to spiral into these negative
Oblivion.
thought forms.
Yeah.
Or I can switch maybe the environment. Like usually in these situations, if you're freaking out, immediately changing your environment does a whole host of wonders. Like just go outside. You're like, oh wow, I don't feel so confined anymore.
Yeah.
The other part of it is just speaking to what is coming up, you know, and
So it's like a guided meditation. kind of with
Yeah,
someone.
with panic maybe involved, or this feeling of like, oh.
It's a guided meditation because there's someone else with you that's walking.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure
that
out.
scenario, it would be, yeah.
Temple
In that
kenosis.
scenario,
Is
for
that
sure.
is that a? You said it's a community, or I said that, didn't I? Community. Yeah. So it's like, do people get together? Do you have a group that gets together and you pop a mushroom and then you talk about whatever?
So it's a
and-
church. So it's a 501c3 or 3c, however you say that, right? And because of that, with the freedom of how one can choose to celebrate their religion, that's how you can use the psilocybin. Because if people want to do a journey with us, we call them journeys, right? That just sounds better than if people want to trip balls with us, it's a little bit more formal. It's a little bit more like educational, right? So
No different than the people that want to smoke cannabis and they're like, let's get fucked up, let's
yeah,
get blitzed.
you
And it's
can
like,
use it.
or you can just
you
hit
can
a joint a
use
couple
these
times. Yeah.
tools and mechanisms for distraction or discovering yourself more. It
Is
depends
this a
on the user.
Facebook group that people can get on, or is it?
We're starting to get there. Jeff, my mentor, he's based out of Atlanta, or close to Atlanta, Georgia. He's the one that had put this program together. And you can now, to do the psilocybin, the journeying, you have to become a member. So it's just you pay a monthly fee to join the church, and because of that connection with us, you're free from being persecuted for using psilocybin in your journey, because it's just like right. I mean that's
that
popping
is
up
it
all over
illegal?
now.
It's-
It is now. Like that's the loophole. People have found out, like, oh, if I want the separation with church and state, if I want to be able to use these things in a right way, you just create a 501c nonprofit church type of affiliation, and you
Right.
use these things through the freedom of this is how I choose to celebrate my religion.
Okay, so I feel like we're getting like.
We
need to
were
move
college. Your
forward.
first experience.
So-
So you had your first experience.
When did you? I want to get to yoga. Like, when did you get?
That's
to,
what I was going to say.
to
Yeah, so
yoga?
sorry we got caught up in that so much, but we were talking about your first experience. And then
So through a series of what you could call bad trips or just moments of, and that happened too. When I took these things at first, I was like, wow, everything's so great. I'm looking at the world through this new lens. And then I started to take more. And then the bigger doses is when you're like, oh, I've surpassed the novelty of this, and now I'm in childhood trauma. Like,
Yeah.
why did I just think of this thing that happened to me when I was little, and it was very traumatizing, only to the degree to see, like, oh my gosh, it shaped how I've responded in certain situations for the rest of my life. So there's moments in college where I started to the novelty experience of being on a psychedelic wore off, and I was like, well, there's something else going on here.
Right.
I'm picking up subtle energy from other people. I'm noticing myself, and I'm wanting to explore these things a little bit more, because again,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna question stuff, like, okay.
Yeah.
And through college and dabbling through all the things, and kind of to touch back on what we were saying earlier, some people just get lost and stuck there
Right.
for whatever reason. Call it whatever you want to call it, divine intervention. There's this voice or this aspect of me that was like, Caleb, are you abusing this stuff now? Like,
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
There was always this voice of reason, and I'm calling it the divine, because it's not Caleb's brain
Yeah, yeah.
or any of my versions of
Maybe
my
it was your
ego that's had
intuition.
intuition, something. Like, I totally believe in higher power. I totally believe in something that's bigger than what. And our brains are such a finite machine trying to understand infinite mechanisms. It's like it glitches, right?
Yeah.
So luckily for me, I always had this component of me that was like, Caleb, you're doing that thing again where you're like, you're abusing this medicine. Like,
Right.
I always had this thing in my head. I'm like, this stuff is medicine. But then am I abusing it? Am I just constantly going to it
Right.
unconsciously because I just want a distraction, or I
Yeah.
just want to
Totally.
not feel this anymore? And then I started to see people really get lost in that kind of sauce in college, and that's what made me kind of like pull back and go, man, I really need to make sure I'm approaching this thing
Yeah.
with reverence to the fire that you're kind of playing with, I mean, psychedelics, I don't think anybody can get physically addicted to them. Maybe psychologically,
Yeah.
like this need, like THC, totally a psychologically addicting drug.
I think you
There's
can
so
get
many
addicted
people
to
that
it.
are like, I'm not addicted. I could quit whenever I want. I'm like, dude, you use it when you're feeling pissed. You use it when you're feeling sad. You use it when you're feeling bored. Like it's your unconscious go-to mechanism, and that's when it's an addiction. When you don't have a choice of
Right.
like, this thing happened to me, I instinctually go to this
Right.
self-soothing mechanism. It doesn't matter what that is.
I've had so many people, I've had arguments about this, how it's not addictive. It is addictive. It's not addictive. And then I have a friend who actually smoked it, 30 years of his life. And then he stopped. And he was like, it is addictive. I wouldn't have said that earlier.
Psychologically,
when
right.
when I knew him, in our 20s, but
Sure.
then he got older and he was like, it was definitely addictive.
Well, it depends on what you're delineating as addicting. Like physically, no, you're not going to be like scratching your veins like, I need some weed.
Right.
But like,
Right.
no, when you've condition yourself to need that thing as your state switching mechanism. Like, I'm pissed, I go to weed.
Right.
I'm sad, I go to that. Then it's an addiction because you don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah,
but
it's a distraction. So I'm glad that you listen to your intuition or whatever and move past it, because
I'm glad that was there too. Who knows? Because I had friends of mine that, like, they're
still back there.
I mean, I call them friends. They're more of acquaintances because I'm like, I don't want to hang out with that anymore.
They're in a suspended state somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, but you can, as humans, we have all sorts of addictions. You could take that and the gym. The gym is an addiction.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to, something's going on with me, I'll just go work my body.
Yeah.
Like the gym can be just as much of an
anything
addiction
can be a
as
distraction.
anything.
For sure. But you moved past it, and then from there, where did it take you?
So I get my degree in communications from University of Illinois.
What were you going to do
I will
with that?
I will say this. I did go to University of Illinois, or SIUE, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. And this is where I started to find my limit. I didn't have a problem with psychedelics, but like cocaine's a hell of a drug. And then, in the words of the late great Rick James,
You're taking cocaine.
Yeah, of course. Meredith, I remember my curiosity thing. I was like, I'm curious about this now. And then luckily that intuitive faculty of mine that was like, what are you doing with this?
That's
That's
super
not medicinal.
addictive.
There's no medicinal there as much. No.
The only thing that's good for is just not feeling anything.
Is not sleeping.
And not sleeping and getting kicked out of school. Because I definitely got
My jaw
stopped
is
going
like,
to school. Like, I just stopped going to class because I was like, why would I sit in class if I could just feel like Superman for 30 minutes of the day? And that's when I was like, oh, okay. So there's some things.
That was a really short stint, right?
Short stint.
Okay.
Yes. I was just like,
short.
I learned my lesson with that one. I wasn't getting any,
Benefits.
self-reflecting times on that. It was just all, I'm going to fuel your ego and just inflate your, the
Was it scary a little bit? Kind of like
scary when you're coming down off of it, yeah, because like I feel like you borrow all your serotonin and dopamine from the next 2 days and you pack it into just like one night, and so you're just like, I'm Superman, I'm on top of the world, and then when that wears off and your heart rate's still going because you're still on an upper, the dark thoughts come in. I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a shitty person. Like, what? Here it is, 3 a.m. I've got XYZ to do tomorrow, and I can't go to bed. Like,
So where was your intuition when all that was happening? Like,
it was
did
sitting
you
there
like
going,
put it in a closet?
no, it was like, fucking, I told you so.
Yeah.
Like.
But you were still listening to it.
I just.
Okay.
That's why I luckily had this mechanism of going, oh yeah, this is what those thoughts, that intuition was warning me about. Okay. And then I had on top of it the physiological sensation of like, I just feel like I got ran over by a truck. Like, this isn't it.
Right.
And I was really big into drinking. Like, when you drink on that stuff, you don't even feel it. Like, I can remember going in. That was back when like beer pong was still like really popular. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But we used to just like, we'd be on cocaine. You'd be beating everybody. They're like, you've drank like 30 beers, dude. How are you still going? And I'm just like, I'm not going to tell you how I'm locked in like this, but I got to go to the bathroom really fast. He keeps
Just for a
going to the
second.
bathroom.
Just for a second.
So yeah, that was okay. I need to listen to this intuition. I need to know that there's some barriers, some things I need to put on here to make sure I'm going in the right direction still.
So it got stronger, and you listened, and you said, "Done with cocaine, and I'm going to move to yoga."
Not yet. Almost. You're wanting to get there. I'm telling you, Meredith, this is a whole arc of me getting to yoga. So immediately after this, getting kicked out of school, I had to move back home with my parents. And I didn't even tell any of them either. They had to find that out. Like, that's a funny story.
Online?
Yeah, my mom goes to call the school to be like, we're going to pay for Caleb's spring,
semester.
And they're like, he's kicked out. And like, she was like, what?
Oh my God, I'd be
Did
so
something
mad.
happen?
Oh,
I'd be so mad.
Explosive, explosive.
Yeah.
I get a call from my mom. I'm like spending the night at my buddy's house. We were probably drinking the night before. It's super early. I'm like, hello. And she's like, Caleb, you got kicked out of school. And I'm just getting an earful. I'm like, okay, she finally found out about it, right? I was like, yeah, this happened. I was on academic probation, didn't tell you, and now they're like, you can't. I'm trying to pay your tuition for the next year, and then
Oh my God.
this was back when, okay, so I was over.
Did you care at this point, or were you?
No, I didn't care in the sense that I knew getting kicked out of there and removing myself from these environments of finding all these addictive things and pushing myself to I saw it as this is gonna suck because my parents are gonna be upset, but I'm like, and deep down I'm like, this is the best for me. I need to get out of this situation because I didn't have the discipline.
Right.
I didn't have the ability to cut myself off from doing the behaviors I was doing, and it's just like whatever you want to call it, divine intervention was
someone
like,
took you
yep,
out.
you're leaving here, and
It's good.
it was good, and it happened. It was just funny to the way my mom called because I was 18, and this is like when they started switching everything to if you want to talk to us about your son's schooling, he's over 18, he's got to be on the phone with us. We can't, and that just made her even more mad. So I'm having this phone call, she's berating me for a good 10, 15 minutes, and then after that settled, I heard this meek little voice. She's like, this other woman from the bursar's office, like, can I hang up the phone now? She was so scared.
She was on.
Yeah, because again, for her to be like, to talk to your son about what has happened.
Yeah, you have to both be on. I get it.
No, I thought this was just me and my mom, and she's just chewing me a new one, deservedly so. And this little meek voice is like, I'm traumatized now. I gotta hang up.
This was 18?
18, 19.
Okay, so then what happened?
Get kicked out of school, move back home. My dad gets me a job. He worked for the state.
Shucking corn?
And no, I mean, that would have probably done me a little bit more good. But he scared me straight by saying, all right, well, you're going to get a job because he works for the state comptroller. He's got a state job. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm do this for the rest of the semester that you're supposed to be in school.
That does not sound like fun for you.
And all summer. No, I was working with a bunch of people that nothing against state employees, but it was a scared straight program of this is my life if I don't get my shit together.
Did you walk in with a shirt like that?
No. Every now and then, yeah. I mean, I still got kicked out, but I still enjoyed my weed. So I was like, that was the other part. I was like, this is a job. I see why everybody's stoned doing these jobs because you're just repetitive, meaningless tasks. And I did that for all spring and all summer. And I was like, I got to get my shit together and kind of
figure it
out. So I go back to school, graduate from UIS, get my degree in communications, think I'm going to join corporate America and do all of this.
Yeah.
That seems like you for sure. Corporate America.
Oh my God.
I think I've spent an hour with you, and I can tell you that's probably wasn't gonna.
That was my next bad trip experience. Was trying to because I came out. I graduated and got my degree 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. So I think that was at a still in time or a place in time where the farce of you just go get your degree and get a job somewhere was still kind of believable. Now it's just the whole market's oversaturated with kids who have degrees, but it's I think trade schools are becoming more popular. Thank God.
Yes.
But I got my degree in communications, decided I didn't know what I wanted to specialize in.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be marketing and advertising. And then again, with my open-mindedness, and I go in because I like to be funny and comedic. I'm like, maybe I'll make commercial. As a young kid, I'm thinking that's how I can use my communication talents. Well, then you go in to figure out and take these classes on what advertising actually is. I'm like, you guys just using people's psychology against them, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even want to do this now either. Like this is a nefarious use of trying to be a communicative, funny person. Like I don't want to. Infiltrate someone's psychology and make them think a certain way just to buy a product, right?
So when did you get into like the exercise route?
Right. So after I got kicked out of school from being just a degenerate, basically, my dad had always been a very health-minded person. My mom was always athletic, you know. So I always grew up playing sports. Like I understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, what sports did you play?
I played baseball, soccer. Really gravitated to golf.
Okay.
I played on the high school golf team, which was probably just because it was.
I don't
the
see
one
you
thing.
as a golfer. That seems strange.
Right.
But
Well, I always had the build of like a football player. So the football coach was like, "We need you to play football." I'm like, "Dude, you guys suck. You haven't had a winning season
soccer, but
since '79. Like, I'm not gonna play something that willingly is
Golf you
terrible."
probably like because it was so hard to figure out.
I was naturally good at golf.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well, if you're naturally good at golf, you got to play golf.
Right. I mean, I grew up. My dad, when I was younger, bought me like a set of clubs from I think it was like a garage sale type situation. And in his backyard, there's about 50 to 75 yards until there's railroad tracks.
Right.
And so I just grew up just being a kid, like hitting golf balls at the train cars.
Yeah.
And over time, I'm like, oh, I can specifically hit that one. And
Well,
now
it's
I can
it's a
specifically
mental
hit
game
that
too,
one.
right?
Yeah. But I just grew up dicking around in the back, hitting. And then after that, I think I gravitated towards that in school. I didn't like the team sport mentality. It was always like, if you screwed up, everybody's upset at you, or like, you know what I mean? The spotlight's on you. Like, why did you drop the ball? Blah, 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 blah. In golf, it was just like, this is me versus this course. And then if I'm good enough at that, then I can compare it to how I did with the other kids on the other team. So I think that's why I gravitated towards
that?
non-team sports. Like I don't mind watching team sports.
I get
but
that. I wasn't really into team. I was into track and
individual stuff.
sports.
Yeah, of course.
So did you?
So I have always had the notion of like, okay, I can move my body and I'm relatively athletic already. So after this whole thing with getting kicked out of school, I'm like, all right, part of my getting my shit together was I'm going to start working out and lifting again. Like,
Right.
I kind of did it here and there in school. Naturally, just always had like a pretty somewhat big build for the kid my age. And just leaned back into that. Started running every day, started going to the gym every day. And then that was healthy for a while. And then the ego's a funny thing. It's like now it's inflated on being a brociopath is what I started to call myself. Like you start to get into this sociopathic, like, yeah, I am this big, tough, blah, 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 blah person from the lifting.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I would figure you would
I
want to
swung the other direction.
go the trainer route. Like, you
yeah,
know.
I try. So like I got into lifting and got all through me finishing school and getting my degree, I was like working out all the time. And I was working at a pretty physical job at the time. It was I worked at a meat processing plant, and I would like handle a lot of like deer. They would process deer in the deer season, and just and I would just work with butchering meat.
Probably like,
yeah. Well, then it's so funny because that was in Illinois, and then as soon as I left that, I came to Nashville and became a manager at a vegetarian restaurant. So it was just like a little both and. But no, I got really healthy, but then it started swaying the opposite direction. I started becoming like, I went through a phase in my mid-20s where I'm like cycling pro hormones, just like, the addiction just switched, or this need to be addicted to something switched to just doing workout stuff. And so and then I'm taking pro hormones, trying to my max bench press was something ridiculous, like 375. Just like
pro hormones.
Pro hormones are legal because
steroids.
Yeah, because they're legal because when you buy them in the state they're in, they're not technically a steroid. Just once you ingest you always buy them in stacks. It's like, take these things.
Right.
And as soon as you ingest them, it kind of turns it into a steroid.
Okay.
So
you did that.
Did that.
Okay.
And then I was like, I'm going to do personal training. Like,
I feel like you're some kind of fucking wild animal and you are all over the map.
All
and I
over the
am
map.
like trying to like reel it in and you keep like
Yeah.
No, it's just like
I just go
you're like your shirt. I'm just trying to like
focus on one thing. The colors are intense. So yeah, the health fitness route became not only just like I feel more healthy, I feel more alive, I feel more like authentically who I think I am because of movement, because of this outlet of like, I don't know, frustrations or anything in life that I feel like I couldn't control or had issues with accepting. I could just go to the gym and move and get it.
So you were switching
released.
out your shrooms with working out, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's a
then
healthier
at one
route.
point I was like, can they both mix? Yeah. And they can, but like you got to choose the right situations and environments. This weight is talking to me, you know. Like I don't know if you want to do weight training with that, but. And so I decided to go into the personal training route, and like I would take like these NASM tests and things along those lines to get your personal training certification. And it was one of these things that just like I think I was being redirected again, like with a divine intervention. I would take this test, I'd fail by like 1 point, you know, and I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so I started getting aggravated with that. And in the meantime, I had with all the lifting I was doing crazy like Russian complex lifts 4 or 5 hours in the gym every day.
Wow.
And the guys I was working out with, they didn't stretch or do yoga or anything, but like they were smart enough on a physiological sense to be like, you need to do these kind of stretches. And I didn't, it was at that age where like stretch, you know,
Yeah.
but like I started to notice there's a benefit to doing this.
There's a correlation to
And I started, right, your recovery's faster. Like I don't feel like a stiff monster the next day so much.
Right.
And so I started researching and I'm like, what are these stretches? And I started finding out these are just yoga poses that, I mean, the coaches I'm working with, they're not saying the Sanskrit
where were you
word.
living then when all this was going on?
Right around this transition, I was still in Illinois after graduating school and being with the person I was in a relationship with at that time. Then we broke up, and then I got fired from the marketing and sales coordinator job I had. Again, I was trying to do the corporate America
So you're in
thing
your
with my
20s
degree.
when all this was going
Yeah.
on.
And because my parents had been divorced, my mom had lived in Murfreesboro for, well, I don't know, like 6-7 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I would vacation down there a lot from Southern Illinois. And then I got to this moment where I'm like, all right, this relationship I was in didn't work out. The job I was working at didn't work out. I need a, like, maybe I'm
need
just
a
going to go
reset.
live with my mom for a little while and figure out Tennessee. Because,
Yeah.
like, the Illinois situation wasn't, that was my...
So you weren't you were dabbling in yoga or the stretching, but you
Yep,
weren't you
I
hadn't
wasn't
like
fully committed to it yet.
Until you
And then
came here?
I moved to Murfreesboro, lived there for about a year or two until I got like a job and like on my feet, and then I came to Nashville. And that's a funny story too, actually. Like I downloaded this at-home yoga video after researching and being like, there's something to this. And with all the personal training stuff that I kept trying to do and just like, it felt like I was swimming upstream. I was like, why do I keep failing at this thing? And I was like,
Yeah.
I know I wanted to do something movement related because it had been such a healthy turn of events in my life.
Right.
I was like, I really, need to stay involved in this industry because it's going to keep me actually doing it. And then I also want to help other people that have had a similar struggle of like turning their
Life around.
and just
Yeah.
pouring it into something that's positive. And
That's
so
awesome.
I kept trying to do the personal training stuff, never worked out. And then I was like, you know what? This yoga video stuff that I really like, that's physical. I know I wanted to do something physical. And so I just like, when I was moving from Murfreesboro to Nashville, so I was still in the middle of that process. But I just Googled like a yoga studio in Brentwood. I'd never taken a yoga class ever. I'd only just done these videos, and they were like, "We're doing a yoga teacher training this fall." And so I submitted an application to it, and like the instructor emailed me back, and she was like, because in the thing, I was like, hey, I've never done yoga. I've never taken a class. Like, I want to do teacher training. She's like, what?
Why?
She like immediately emailed me back. I was like, I just want to make sure I read this right. Like,
You took a class though, right?
no.
You hadn't taken any
No,
classes.
all I've done
you
is
wanted
that-
to do training
All
without
I've
even taking
done
a
is
class?
memorize that video at home.
What the heck?
And I was just like, well, this personal training shit is frustrating and obviously not the path I need to go. Maybe yoga teacher training is what it is. And so
Well, wait. So what was your What was your first class like?
pretty crazy because I'd never done it in an in-class environment.
And when you took the class,
hot yoga.
you were thinking, I'm going to do a teacher training. Right?
I was already signed up to do it before I went in.
When you took the class, because at one point I thought, I want to teach yoga. And then I was like, there is no fucking way I can talk as much as these people talk.
I said,
like, it
I
was
want to teach
constant
yoga.
chatter.
Yeah. I said, I want to teach yoga before I even took a yoga class. Because I was like, the personal training thing wasn't working out. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe this is it. And like, she had me come in and talk. She was like, listen, I need to talk to you in person. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, it's not a cheap program.
Yeah, it's
you know?
not.
And so I come in, I was like, yeah, I'm really trying to switch my life around, do something that's like positive with my own physical being and like help other people do that.
Right.
I have a degree in communications. I'm a big talker.
Yeah.
I like talking is
So
not
it works
something
well for
that
you.
comes hard to me. In fact,
Yeah.
I probably talk too much at times.
No.
And she's like, okay, so you're looking for all this balance and all this, like, okay, like, I think actually this might be for you. She's just like, this has never happened to me before. I've never taken somebody on in a yoga teacher training program that's never taken a yoga class, you
Right.
know? And it was just because of my drive of want to do something physical and help people that way that I was just like, whatever, this
Did
personal
you have
training.
regrets when you started it?
No,
Or-
not at all.
Okay.
And what was even more crazy was like I started taking these classes and like I'd never done it in a hot room before. I'd
Yeah.
never even been taught on like the breathing techniques. And
Right.
so like the first time I actually took that stuff serious, I left that class and I was like, I feel like I'm on mushrooms right now.
Wow.
I was like, I feel like I'm on a psychedelic just because of the
How you were
energy that
breathing?
stirs up, the taking the pranayama very seriously, and just some of the philosophy that's just naturally woven in. Then I was like, oh shit, no wonder I was drawn to this. Like, this gives me a stage and a platform to use my communication skills and to be physical and to talk about this philosophical stuff that nobody seems to be actually integrating.
Yeah.
And if I do it properly, I feel like I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow.
It all fits so well for me.
I was like, wow, I think this is it. Now,
That's so funny.
Me trying to do corporate America was not the right thing. And then this fell into my lap or didn't fall. Like, I don't know. It's a mixture of me seeking it out, but it also sought me out to a certain degree. You know?
So your very first class after you got your certification, were you nervous? Like,
No, this
Not at
teaching
all?
yoga has always just been super easy for me. It's never been. Now
you didn't have any nerves, like walking in?
I have like all the communications classes and like public speaking classes I did growing up. Like
Yeah.
the other thing too was I was high a lot of that time in class, and it
There
gave
you
me
go.
this confidence. Like, I'm just gonna go up here. I don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
I started using THC for a confidence. Then I didn't need it anymore to do that.
Right.
But because I'd had so much experience,
Yeah.
or just felt natural.
Yeah.
I've never. Now I did started getting nervous back when I started to notice. Oh, somebody had like a really good response to my class. So they're like, "Oh my god, that was so like what you were talking about. Like I felt like you were speaking directly to me." And then so what my ego started to do is I want that experience the next time I teach. You know, like and so then I started to. Well, what if I don't have a class where somebody has a breakthrough moment like that again? Then I started to get in my head about like,
Right.
well, now I want every class to feel like somebody's walking away with like, oh my God, I'm so like enlightened to this concept you're talking about now. And I started to project that expectation onto me. And then
Didn't feel grateful. You felt like
no, it was this ego
instead-
thing again of like instead of just intuitively speaking from my heart about
Yeah.
and a lot of the themes because you've taken my class, a lot of the themes I'm using is something that I'm working on myself.
Right.
So I've said this a lot before. Like I'll get up in front of people and be like, I'm basically giving myself advice out loud right now, and you guys are just kind of watching me
The
do
audience.
that process. Yeah, you're being a soundboard. Like some of you will probably pick up on what I'm talking about, but a lot of what I'm doing and talking and trying to embody is what I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
That's probably why people feel so personally connected to it, though, because you're speaking.
Oh yeah, from experience and like applying like, hey, there's
Yeah, his classes are different too. I mean, honestly, because you have a prelude. Is that what it is? Like the beginning, you know?
Yep.
It's definitely words, and
Yep.
then
it's definitely worth at least 5 minutes. You know, and at most they're like,
It's-
start off in quiet, and I'm like, no, I need to introduce something for you guys.
it is, but it's good. I mean, people definitely come to your class because that's what they're looking for, and it's good. I mean, I come to your class a lot.
It's a modern day spin on what yoga is or could be. You know, by no means is it. It's a far cry from its origination.
Most people don't. Most people, you go into a yoga class and it is quiet at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You reset yourself and you center yourself and all
I
that.
see it as two mechanisms. One, it is a mechanism to get your body physically active to be able to sit down and meditate and like go to the internal. That's the only reason yoga actually exists, was to be able to use the asana, the poses, the withdrawing of the sensory of the world and like go internal, and then be able to use your pranic breathing, your breathing techniques to kind of induce an altered state to then be able to sit and meditate and be like in this bigger mind, bigger heart type of space, you know? And you can also, I've through the years found out, me personally, if I'm trying to understand myself more and like notice patterns and switch things around, the concept of like introducing something new, music and movement really helps lock in new mechanisms of looking at myself, you know? Like those
Is
three
music
things.
really important in your class, or? I mean,
It
do you
depends
spend
on
a
who
lot
you
of
ask. I do, yes. Like, and this is last week. You haven't been there because of your knee. My theme this last week was the pranayama, like the actual breathing. So I didn't play no music because, like,
Oh, wow.
and people were freaking out about that. They were like, "I've never taken a yoga class without me." I'm like, "This is," and when yoga was originated, nobody had music. Like, it's this. It's a cool additive feature, and if I do put a lot of time, energy, effort into it, because I like the BPMs to match a certain, and it's like a DJ set. Like I try to
Right.
it's like a DJ set, and it can be helpful, but it can be distracting.
I do have to say, the one class that I did take, and you were on your Irish kick. I don't know what it was, but
It was probably around one of those
I left
solstices.
really annoyed because I was like, "Oh my god!" It was like
Perfect.
nails on a chalkboard.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what it was. It was just like, this
was
is
probably-
so much Irish.
Yeah, I like to again with some of the Nordic or whatever roots I have. I like the like celebrating Ostara or the Celtic
Yeah.
holidays.
Yeah,
you know?
I was like, "Where's his kilt?" I don't know what's going on.
I have a kilt. I need to actually start wearing it more. But I'm glad that happened because it's gonna trigger some people to be like, why am I allowing the music to make this a good or bad experience?
Well, because I'm very musical, being a
Sure.
dancer. Like
Yeah.
that just really
Okay,
like
that makes
speaks
more
to me.
sense.
That would be difficult to,
It just speaks to me, and it's like that's if the music's good, then I'm there all day, you know. But I'm
Well, I'm all over the board with it too. Like
You are.
my musical preferences are just like
yeah. And sometimes the words, sometimes you do one where they're talking, and it's sometimes that's distracting for me because then I start listening to it, and I'm just like,
what am I doing?
yeah. It's just I don't
If
know.
I use a song with lyrics in it, it's probably because I want the people to actually pay attention
Yeah.
to the lyrics. But
Yeah,
I
for
usually
sure.
try to do it in a part of the sequence where you don't maybe need to be, like the balance series. I like throwing in.
Yeah. I'm locked in on the balance series.
Yes. So yeah, music can be helpful, but also like it's not necessary to be able to get oneself ready to actually sit down and meditate. But between those two concepts, I think that's like, I don't know, it provides me this perfect stage for me to get up, use my communication skills, try to impart new philosophy for me that I'm trying to digest and for other people, and be able to see us all kind of collectively question, like, why do I behave certain ways? Why? I think that's a big component of what we need in the world right now is people questioning why do I have these responses to environmental situations or triggers? Like, if the more people explore these things, the less they'll need like the external world to change for them to feel better. It's like it happens from the internal. You know, I think the world right now is reflective of the lack of internal work.
So your number one in your yoga class is more to get into their minds and have a different mindset rather than the exercise itself.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, the physiological, and I have to speak towards how I found it. Like the physiological component of yoga is what drew me in. But this like understanding of like, whoa, this is a tool for me to balance my mind, body, and spirit is what kept me going back. So I can't just neglect the physical component of what drew me in, you know, but I don't try to make that the primary reason.
Does your mind wander when you're doing a yoga class?
Not anymore. I mean, I can't say that. Yeah, but like I've been teaching, and I always practice the flow that I'm going to teach, usually right before I teach. And so I'll practice yoga 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah. And I practice 4 or 5 times a week, and I've done that for the last like 10 years. So, and I'm weirdly used to practicing before anybody's in there. So I only practice by myself. I haven't practiced in a yoga with other people in years.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you ever take?
No,
because a lot of times I get super distracted because people, they're going through their own thing.
Sure.
But if I hear somebody that's like making noise,
takes you out of yours.
Or what? Well, I'd start thinking about sex.
Just noise, just generally.
I mean, I
think I know what you're talking about, but like somebody could be like, and Meredith's like,
that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying. Like you just hear, like it's quiet in here. You just hear a car go by.
No, it's not quiet. It's usually someone that's
you're talking about they're like grunting
groaning
or something. I got you.
But we couldn't pass up a comedic opportunity to be like, I think somebody farted, but I'm ready for sex now.
Are you good? Are you okay? Oh, that's
I think some people are performatively doing this too, you know, like I know there's like moans of like, this is painful, but then sometimes somebody puts a little extra on there. I'm like, what are you stretching back there?
Yes.
It's dark. I know that time of the sequence, I turn the lights down and close the curtains.
I was just wondering if I was the only one. I don't know.
I mean,
because it's
You're not allowed to.
Yes. No. Luckily, I haven't had to break up any kind of what's actually going on back here type of like. That's not how you shavasana. Pull your pants up. Like. You're welcome for giving you a good sequence, but like, what are you doing?
There are no happy endings in here, okay?
Yeah, right. That's not video. Put a sign up eventually.
Yeah, but people do. I don't know why. They're just maybe in their own world.
I have to play bad guy here, but we got about 14 minutes left.
That's it?
That's it. So
look, we have not even talked about astrology.
All right, so the yoga, you know. I was giving.
We have to stop talking about yoga, or we have to do a part 2.
We can always. It's always a good idea when you get in these situations. If it's this good, we can just do the numerology and the other stuff. We could touch on it real quick if you want to. But that's why I want to bring it up is to say you got about 15 minutes. If you want to touch on some of this stuff, and then maybe we'll have you back.
Right.
Yeah, then you can make him tease the next one, perhaps.
Exactly.
Well, I think this was a good way of getting a backstory on like why I even got to the place I am now. Like the questioning of everything, this recognizing that I want to be a part of something that's bigger than myself to help other people through the arc of the psychedelic experience I had, and realize like I found out without a doubt, I was like, yeah, there's something else going on here, and I believe in it. I don't need to do it in any other ways that.
I mean, it makes total sense.
Right.
When you say where you came from, it just makes total sense that you went right into yoga. So,
and then from yoga, astrology came in somewhere.
What is your sign?
I'm Capricorn.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A sea goat. Some weird shit.
About people that know about astrology, as a person that doesn't. It's like you're like, really? It's like I'm like, I don't know, what is that?
Well,
she's like, and that means
because normally I don't
tell you.
I don't jive with Capricorns, but
interesting.
Puerto Rico guy.
This is the slippery slope, right?
Because I'm
You
Gemini.
can-
So what do you think about Capricorns and Geminis? No, because you're an Earth sign.
Yeah, Earth and Gemini, you're air. So I don't have a lot of air in my chart. So I usually find that whatever you're lacking, you will be drawn to kind of like fill the gaps in your life.
Yep,
and so here's the
that
other
makes
thing,
sense.
like astrology is a great tool to kind of understand the self a little bit more. Different zodiac signs have different personalities and characteristic traits that for the most part, I'm like, you read about a Capricorn, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of me to a T. You know, they're the workaholic or the puts their energy into just like one thing at a time, you know, and I'm very much like that. And so it's, again, with the zodiac signs we're all born into, you inhabit certain characteristics and personality traits, but it's not just about fully leaning into that and just being like, well, I'm an asshole because I'm a Capricorn.
Well, yeah,
you know,
of
like,
course.
you've got to take ownership for it, and you can also, it's just as important as figuring out where all the other zodiac signs in your chart that are lacking show up in your life too, and kind of.
All right, we'll have to talk about that next, because I guess next time, because I have all these questions and we didn't get to any of
Yeah, we
them.
just got to the backstory, just kind of poured in.
But hey, we could do the lightning round.
Yeah, let's
questions.
do that. It's a good thing. This is a good thing.
Can you come back to a part 2? Okay, cool.
See, so it's in that context, it's a very good thing. You know, you want to be able to
if
fly.
you don't
want
wanna
to
be
fly
like,
through.
damn it, we still got 15 more minutes to go,
Exactly.
and I don't know,
Exactly.
I'm
Those are
done
the worst
talking
when
to
it's
this-
like it's only been 40 minutes.
Right, this guy's a wet sock.
this is
Get him
great.
out of here.
Well, I'm trying to think if there are any other questions I have for yoga. But okay, we'll go to the lightning round. What
All
is
right.
your favorite yoga pose?
My favorite yoga pose, probably crescent lunge, because I hate it.
Really?
And I have a lot of tight hip flexors,
Yeah.
and every time I go into that pose, I'm reminded of how tight they are. So
Yeah.
it's a love-hate relationship. And it's difficult. That's one that if you can just say, take crescent lunge, and if you're there for 10 to 15 breaths, you're like, oh my God, I want to get out of this. So it really challenges me to, can I stay here in this pose? And it's also the double whammy of it's working my hip flexors, which are really tight. So for
What
me, it's
about,
like, I hate it, but it's doing me good.
Yeah. What about like your, because his yoga is like, it's structured. So you, like with your standing series or the
Yep.
balance ones, I would think you like that, or you do, because I never see you do it. You just sit down.
Yeah, I sit down mostly because if somebody's walking around and you're trying to balance on one leg, it's very disorienting.
Oh, that's true.
So, and I've been in yoga classes where the teacher's like walking in front of me and they're like, it makes me fall out.
Right.
They're like, your foot wasn't right. I'm like, no, you just walked by me. Like, I don't want to be the reason why. It's already
Right.
hard enough to do the balance series. So I just
Yeah.
kind of like plop down in the corner and try to be less of a distraction.
Oh, I thought you were just like staring at everybody doing it.
I
'cause
kind
I'm
of
always
do
looking
just to
ahead.
make sure that people aren't doing anything too concerning on a ergonomic scale, you know, on their body, this is the way they're positioning. But
Yeah.
the balance series, I don't love it. I just know I need to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Dancer is a pretty good one too, because it does, again, with the hip flexor.
Yeah.
That's my favorite balance series to hate.
Yeah.
But I purposefully set it up to where you're going to do three standing poses on the one leg before we switch to the other side.
Right, right. No, I like it because it's challenging for me. But, okay, what is the number that you're drawn to? I know we didn't talk about numerology, but
Number?
yeah.
11. Because
Okay,
in
why?
numerology, I am an 11.
Okay.
That comes from adding up the numbers in your birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
And it kind of gives you, it's the same thing of
I
like,
think I'm a 1.
really?
Yeah. I think.
So they calculate, my birthday is January 3rd, 1987.
So
So
you add it
1
all
plus 3, 4. But then you have to take the 4-digit year, you add all those up. So it's 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7. And
We'll
yeah.
talk about it later.
You add that
that's a whole
number
part, too.
and the other, the January 3rd, and it becomes 29. And so in numerology, what you're doing is you're trying to get it down to just a one number. So you add all those numbers up to get 29. Well, then you're going to add the 2 and the 9 together from 29 to get to 11. And now if that added up to something that was like not a double digit in numerology, when you deduce it down and you get to like an 11, a 22, or a 33, or a 44, you stop, because like the double numbers is a signifier of something important. So you wouldn't reduce 29 to 11 and then 11 to 2. Right. You would keep it as an 11. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because it's a double number.
Yeah, that kind of triangulates where you're.
Yep.
All right, I think
it's
I did
another.
wrong.
So there's like, it's called the golden triangle.
Okay, we're not talking about that right now. Okay, we're going. That's part 2. Okay, morning or evening practice with yoga?
Ooh, I love morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it sets me
so
up.
So you're an
for,
early bird.
Just out of necessity. I'm not the type of person that wakes up
Are
and
you
is
an
like,
Angie early
let's
bird?
get going. Hell no.
Like she gets up at 4.
No, and I have to sub her classes at 5:30 a.m., which there's a few coming up because she covered a lot of mine, I think, when I was gone in Turkey.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We were supposed to talk about that. I'm going to Turkey.
You're going to Turkey?
Yes, I'm going in October.
Because of my trip?
No.
Oh, damn.
I'm going on a spiritual retreat.
Really? What part of Turkey?
Istanbul.
Yes, Istanbul's great, but you got to go to the coast. The Mediterranean coast is gorgeous.
I don't know. I'll tell you.
Go to
I thought I
Antalya.
told you.
When you go there, go to Antalya if you can.
I had a feeling that she was gonna get you on the Turkey trip.
Well,
when you and I were talking about it, I was like,
it's
pretty
very
sure.
last minute. I'm doing my summer of spontaneity.
Because you.
Well done.
When we were just talking to her, who she's talking about a couple, maybe 2-3 weeks
Anyway,
ago.
yeah.
Istanbul will be
She
fun.
jumped right on that.
We'll talk about it.
Can't wait.
God dang, we have so much to talk about. Okay, what's one daily ritual that you do?
Meditate. I've started
Of
to do
course.
that. Yeah. There's me and one
So
of my
typical. Really?
one of my
Nothing
good
else?
but well, and it stems out of me and a good friend of mine who does his own kind of like yoga. It's called Human Garage. It's like this new. It's a whole other topic.
Okay.
Human
I'm gonna write
Garage.
that
You should
down
look into
for
that stuff.
next
It's about
time.
fascia work and clearing stuck, emotional, unprocessed things. But he's down in St. Pete, and he and I have we were communicating with each other. Like, dude, we have this issue of like thought looping mechanisms and patterns, and like how do we like be aware of this, or like what do we do with this? And we came up with this idea of like you get up in the morning and you immediately just stare at the wall and be bored, right? Because like nobody can be bored anymore. We can't.
Yeah.
You have all these
You're always
things to
distracted,
make
yeah.
you not be bored, and so there's a boredom crisis. And so the first thing we do is we get up, I drink water, and I go stare at the wall for 20 minutes. But that just leads me into my meditation practice. So when I start the day with that, I'm more aware of having a choice of how I want to interact with the rest of the day, just because I started off with it that way. So
Okay.
morning ritual person, 100%. Like I need my rituals time.
But not Angie morning, but morning.
No,
Get it.
5:30. I go in there and sub that class. You've
gets
got to
up
get
at
there.
4.
Yeah, you're
She goes
getting
to
up
bed
at
at
4.
8.
It's damn near the middle of the night. Like
It's ridiculous.
like what? It's not getting up early. That's the middle of the night.
It's true. It's so true.
5:30 is the earliest.
Are people
No.
awake?
Yeah, I'm there. Like, there's a whole community of people at Lifetime at this time that I don't know, because I'm just like, yeah, I sub, and I'm like, I've never seen any of you people.
don't know
I'm
you.
glad to have met you for this week. I was subbing. You'll never see me again. Like, I am not part of this community. I could be up drinking coffee at that time, but
Yes.
they're just coming off of like, I just did a machine, and I'm like, it's 5:30.
Okay, that's hilarious. Expensive gifts or homemade gifts? It's kind of a girl answer, a girl question, but
Man, is
No.
this towards just depends on the
would
person?
you rather have it? Well, that's
or am
you.
I receiving this thing?
I'm asking you.
Oh,
do you prefer a expensive gift or a homemade gift?
Probably a homemade, thoughtful
Gift.
gift that's like actually
That's on brand
usable.
for you. Yeah. All right. Would you kill a bug or take them outside?
Oh, I take them outside.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Aw.
There's too many times on Psychedelics I was like, what if a giant hand just came out of the air and smushed me?
Yeah, once you have that thought.
I was like,
I think maybe once you have that thought, sober or not, you're like,
yeah. I was just like,
I just realized I'm the devil in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm the one about to. Okay.
Okay, travel to the past or the future?
the future.
Yeah.
I think with the work I do, I've done enough
To stay in the
traveling to the
past.
past. Like I
Yes.
do that on a daily basis. I have this response to the environment around me because of this thing that happened to me in the past. The future would be,
Pretty cool.
I think that would be more enticing to me at this particular part of my life.
Okay. What's a pet peeve that you have? Well, you can do yoga edition or whatever.
Yoga edition is
I know what you're going to
people leaving, but yeah, as Shavasana, that yours truly.
She's hiding her face just so you
Yeah.
guys know because
You want to know the
She
real
does
reason why your knee injured? Because you don't stay for Shavasana.
Whatever.
No, it's true. So like,
I have to say, okay, you do. I'm not fully embracing with the ohms, too.
oh, you mean the primordial sound of the universe?
Yeah.
When scientists
And it's not just that. There's other reasons.
well, if you want
as
to take
well.
it to the Bible, in the word, the beginning was the word, right? So, Om is the sound of creation. When you like capture the sound of Om and then you put it into like cymatics, or you see the symmetrical design that it makes, it's the symmetry of creation. So it's basically. And like scientists have like captured the frequency that the sun gives off, and like it's obviously naturally in a state that we can't comprehend with like the way our eardrums are. So when they translate it into a frequency that we can hear, it's just constantly ohming. So like, it's the
It's like a sound that goes on.
I know,
yeah
just not
the
that deep.
Earth's is the Schumann resonance. So everything's frequency, and so what is it about the ohm that you don't like? I guess that's probably the better exploration.
I don't know.
What does it do for you?
Nothing.
Nothing? So then why are you scared of it?
I'm not scared of it.
You just don't understand it?
Listen, I'm interviewing you, okay? So let's
now
get
we
back
got
to what's something I can't Google about you.
Probably that I can play a didgeridoo.
A what?
A didgeridoo.
I don't know what that means.
Because I don't know what it is. With musical instruments, first of all, the didgeridoo is it's like a long cylindrical wooden instrument
Oh,
that like I
an
think
instrument.
Australians and Aborigines there they breathe into, and it makes this. I can kind of mimic it. Like I can do things musically from a vocal standpoint. I can also do throat singing.
You can like beatbox.
Like, and I can play the harmonica.
Yes.
So anything that's mouth related, like, I'll just dive into. You put something with strings on it in front of me, I'm like, how does this translate?
Yeah.
But the didgeridoo, yeah. So I don't think you could Google the fact that I know how to play. I should start
No.
bringing it in
You
to
should.
the yoga. I don't know if
Instead
people
of
are.
doing your own, you can do the thing. That
It's
would
the
be
same
kinda cool.
thing, though,
Let's stay for
Meredith.
that.
It makes the same noise.
Okay.
I likes it.
All right. Whatever.
All right, fine. I'll didgeridoo ohm you.
Okay.
All right.
Deal. Okay. I still have more questions. What's one thing that's always in your car? Just one thing.
Just one thing.
Just one. Like chapstick or,
My backpack,
your backpack.
which is a Russian doll of everything I would ever
I'm
need.
sure.
So that's like the man version of a purse or something. I always have my backpack, everything in there.
If you had to replace your hands with kitchen utensils, which would you pick?
You gotta start throwing these in earlier.
I don't know.
What kitchen utensil would it be?
There's a correct answer here.
No, it's not.
I guess
But it
just
was a
like
good question.
just knives, right? Like just,
Really?
Grab anything.
Yes, you can. I know how to use, I know how to
Knives?
use chops. I know how to use chopsticks.
All right. Well, we'll go with
Yeah.
knives. Knives is good.
I mean, you can't cut stuff with spoons. You're gonna.
Say a spork. Because you could cut things, grab things, spoon things.
All right, that's like a made up kitchen utensil.
even
Like
real
I don't,
hard.
you
Yeah,
only
I
see
mean,
those.
a knife would be dangerous.
You only get sporks from places
You can
where
be
you
so
know you're gonna
lonely
be
with a knife.
regretting what you just ate.
What's that?
I said you only get sporks from places where you know you're gonna regret what you just ate.
Yeah, like KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a good call on the first. That was a good pull there, Freddie.
Yeah.
That definitely triggers that memory, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Knives. I have to stick with knives. Edward Scissorhands. I don't know.
You're gonna be so lonely.
We stabbing people all the
Telling
time.
you.
I don't know. I could just.
Not want to date somebody with knives for hands. That would be so painful. Okay. Strange food combination that you eat.
On a regular basis, people
Yes.
love this thing. I take salted almonds and I dip them in ketchup.
Okay.
You try it. I always have an inner fat kid that's ready to rage, right? When you get good salted almonds and you dip them in ketchup, they taste exactly like McDonald's French fries. So
All
in
right.
my head, I do it. I'm like, these are McDonald's French fries, but it's the healthiest version. You say disgusting. I promise you, if you do this, the next time I talk to you, you'll be like, holy shit,
I'm gonna
that's actually
believe
delicious.
you.
They
But
got to
I'm
be
not-
salted though. They can't be unsalted almonds. It's got to be good.
I'll just believe
salted.
you. I'm not gonna try it, but I'm gonna believe you. Let's see. What's your favorite tattoo?
Oh man, I have
You
to
have
go.
so many.
I have to go with my probably original one, which is the Flower of Life one.
Okay, that's the first one you've ever
This
done?
is the one that set everything else into motion. So it's sacred geometry. It's the Fibonacci sequence. It's got the math, the numerology, and the expansion of life. And this is my life arm, and this is my death arm. So I usually have things about death on this side, life on this side, even down to the death note.
So this
Yeah,
does this
he's
describe
he's a demon slayer, and he's pretty.
does this describe your addictive personality? Like are
Yeah, you know,
wanna-
like
okay.
people are like,
Do you
oh my
want to
god.
keep doing it?
Yeah, I'm just taking a break right now. I'm trying to come up with the next idea.
They're also a lot very thought out, very artistic pieces as well. So
Right.
take your time.
Would you ever do like a?
Neck piece? I'm actually thinking about it. Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do
Why?
it. Don't.
I know a guy.
Don't do it.
Both of you guys immediately. Your tattoos are so cool. Don't do that.
Because it's your neck.
I know a guy. I know.
What about it?
I mean, in 20 years, you're gonna want a neck tattoo.
In 20 years, am I gonna want
may be
any of
dead,
these?
so I guess it doesn't
Yeah, who knows? The way I look at it now is,
Living in the present.
even if I'm naked, I have a $1,500 suit on. You know, like a $2,000 suit on naked.
Okay. I got one more. What animal represents your personality?
The dung beetle. Yeah,
Shut up.
using shit to my advantage. Using shit to my advantage. No, I think
Okay,
that's
well
true
then
though.
I have another one. I have one more then.
He went to that too quick.
Okay, I got.
It just makes sense.
What's a useless trick you're proud of?
A useless trick that I'm proud of.
Yeah, just something that like I can touch my tongue to my nose.
I can this like water dripping noise, you know.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like what?
In the headphones, you have, you know, in the headphones, you have that sound. Yeah.
I can hear it.
It's like crazy.
It's weird, like right? Like
Makes me want to go to the bathroom.
it makes me ASMR too. I think I'm like as a kid, I was just like I would lull myself into a trance by making water dripping noises. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Okay, we are about
Strange kid.
1:45, so I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh, very much. Still strange kid.
please tell
Okay.
everybody where they can find you, where they can find you on social media, if they want to take a class, etc. Just plug whatever
Yep.
you want to plug.
So
Right at the people, and then we're out of here.
Caleb.Olsen2, I think, is my Instagram handle. I'm on Facebook if you just find that name. Website under construction, but it's called alchemyinmotion.co. Still working on that one, though. Or
And he looks like that in his profile picture, like except he's doing some kind of like that. Yeah.
yeah, probably like smoking a cigarette just off the side. Hey, follow me for spiritual advice.
Anyway. Thanks, guys. Like and
Thank
subscribe
you.
and all that.
Part
Okay.
2.